Hello, Rectangle video. Today we're going to take a look at a team that got someone to legend here. It's around the Pokemon, which is Dragalge for me here. That's mainly interesting. This Pokemon is one of the strongest Pokemon that you can build right now as an XL version. I would love to build one as well. I have a good one that I could build. I have the XL candy, I just don't have the Stardust. So it's kind of nice to take a look at this Pokemon here as well. This Pokemon has access to the move Awkward Tail, which basically sets it apart from something like Kingdra here, which has also a water type move to basically attack something, but it's not as consistent as Awkward Tail, which gives you great coverage, good damage, and a move that you get too fast. Then you have options like Gunk Shot or the Outrage to nuke opponents. And also the typing is really amazing. Most Pokemon currently don't expect to face up against poison types, because poison types recently got nerfed since like Nidoqueen is not available anymore, thanks to the Poison Fang nerf, which basically made it, nobody uses it really. Even though it's not that bad, I think it's better than people made it up to be, but still nobody really uses it right now, so there are not a lot of poison types, so people are running stuff that's pretty weak to poison types, or like cannot really hit poison types that well. And this allows this Pokemon to shine. And the best thing about this is it's just such a good save swap. Because of the consistent damage you do with the Dragon Tail. Actually funny that we face here Nidoqueen immediately, by the way. Didn't plan this, I don't look at the gameplay usually before, so I can see that here on the first glance as well. It's just a very good save swap, just because you see here you can get the shield there advantage, which is cool. You can take moves very easy, and you will be able to just outbulk opponents. You just do consistent damage with your fast move. It's just such a good Pokemon. Like, if you really think of something that you want to excel next, this is one of the Pokemon that you kind of want to have for the Ultra League. It's so strong as a save swap. It's so good to glue teams or like cores together, like Dragon Steel type 4. If you use a good Steel type or something that beats other Steel types also in the lead there, you want to have your Dragonite in the back. This is one of your best save swaps for that team, because you're going to have a Dragon that has access to moves that also would be able to deal with Fairy types, that also will be able to deal with something like Steel ground types like the Galarian Stunfisk, or Steelix not really, but at least do some damage against them. So this is one of the coolest, safest play there in general, so I really enjoy this Pokemon. Also here, this trainer even said it on Reddit. I saw that they sent me the battle, so shoutouts to you. I actually look on Reddit sometimes what people write about me, or like about me in general. There were sometimes actually really weird stuff, like I stopped replying to stuff where like nonsense got said about me, but like there is, the internet is wild, I can say about that, but yeah, there's stuff that's not correct out there, but I think that's for everybody. We'll see here the Charizard against you, which is going to be having access to Dragon Claw, which of course going to make this a little bit awkward, but I think you actually win this in the 2-shield here, right? They have to shield the Awkward Tail. You're going to be able to at least take one Dragon Claw, as it's also not stab, and you will be able to at least win the 1 shields or 0 shields. Here we will see that you're going to be able to get to another move, and this will do enough damage nearly to knock them out already with the Dragon Tails already. You're going to let this move go through, which I think is the wise decision there, allowing you to gain more energy with your Charizard while still keeping the shield, which you don't use here against this Blast Burn coming in, but you're going to be able to get so much energy now. You can even maybe get some extra energy later on with your other Pokemon, but you will see the Machamp coming in. You can go for one Blast Burn. This is going to do a lot of damage, but because it's not Shadow, it's actually surviving it. And we see a Venusaur in the back. So basically the opponent here, the team that's really weak against the Charizard on our side, which is going to be an interesting one, because you might be able to just get some extra energy, farm them down, but you have to be really wise with the shield usage here. Because if you don't do everything perfectly correctly here, it's going to be a tough one. Yeah, exactly. You have to let this move go through, otherwise the opponent might have a chance there of winning that down as well. You have to get to 2 moves. You're going to be able to go for the Dragon Claws. That's enough to knock out the opponent. It is, and you can go for another charge move. They had 1 move stored, that's why you had to keep the shield alive, and they would have won CMP most likely, so good game there, very well played. Next opponent, we see another horrible lead here, Charizard in the lead, this time around the Shadow variant. So the Dragon Claw going to do a little bit more damage. You're still going to be able to take 1 though, thanks to it being non-stab, and you will be able to get 2 more moves. But the thing is, I think your Dragon Tail damage might be enough to farm them down in the 2-shield scenario at this point. We see a Surf Edge coming in, which is an interesting play, kind of telling me that they most likely have another fighter in the back. That would make at least a lot of sense in this kind of regard there. They would have something in the lead that can deal with, for example, Fairy types, and then you have 2 fighters in the back. Definitely would make a lot of sense. But we will see here, you're going to go into the Charizard. You actually don't even have to shield a move here, which is nice. And they're going to go back into their Charizard, basically kind of confirming that they have 2 fighters in the back. trying to read the team here a little bit as well. That's something that's actually really important to try to read teams based on what other people, for example, on YouTube, like myself, ran, what does just make a lot of sense to in order to like climb with that, because you can predict stuff. And as I said before, I didn't watch the battles, of course. It's going to be another fighter in the back. This is a very common thing, especially if you see Surfetched. Usually there are better fighters than Surfetched available. If you see Surfetched as a Say Swap, it's very likely that they're going to have something like another fighter in the back. Surfetched is just a cool Say Swap because of the move Brave Bird, allowing you to hit something like a Venusaur, which you would usually not hit with a fighting type Pokemon. And in general, it basically gives you Needy always a shield advantage. What is kind of awkward here is going to be this Pelipper matchup. Pelipper going to go for the Hurricane, very good shield here now. You have to go for the Outrage in order to knock them out. They're most likely going to no shield, at least I would say. And they don't shield there as well. You're going to be able to farm them all the way down. But now we see the Scrafty coming back in here. They can go for one foul play. They're not going to go for the Power Punch for sure. Even though they could have done it and could have tried to go for the foul play afterwards in order to keep the boost, but I guess they just went for the guaranteed damage, which I can respect. We see this Scrafty now against the Charizard you swapped out of there, which allows you to now take this Power Punch. Good call. They most likely going to go for a bigger move. Now you're going to shield this move up. Wonder what they have in the back. Did we know? No, we didn't know yet. We're going to see the Charizard now. That's going to be a tough one. Again, kind of similar core for them that what you run here as well with the Scrafty and Charizard there. But they had Pelipper instead. We will see the Blastman coming through, going to do a ton of damage here, and you will be able to hit another Dragon Claw on time, winning CMP there. Actually don't know the Charizard stats yet. You're going to see it on the right side though, so you see if that was a likely one to be a CMP tie win or not. But clearly helps there. It's actually something that I'm also thinking of doing for regional tournaments. There are a lot of Pokemon available in regional tournaments that everybody runs, and there are a lot of mirrors. So having one that has higher attack actually helps out a lot there because the meta is so small. But yeah, we'll see a Pelipper here. Is this the best bodied Pelipper or is just, I don't know, actually very, very high CP Pelipper there, nearly 2500. And we see a Crossel coming in. You're actually gonna go for the Outrage. A play that I find interesting. They're going to most likely no shielding this though, but I guess Aqua Tail would be super effective. I don't know if 2 Aqua Tails would have done more, but they would have got an extra fast move through. You will be able to get the shield here from the opponent. You would be able to realign if you wanted to, but that's going to be a Rock Slide now. You can farm them down though with your Scrafty, and at least you got the hardest answer for the Charizard out of the way, because this would have been annoying to deal with. Good for you. We will see the Pelipper coming back in here. We have to go for the foul play. Only play there. I guess you just stack the Scrafty here, like that's at least what I would do. Exactly, just let this move go through, exactly, perfectly played here as well. If this is a legend run right now, so like I can kind of commentate on what they also did well here in order to hit legend, I guess. Doesn't really help you if they have an Ampharos in the back. You have to bait here, like you have to call it basically. If you bait and they call it correctly, like it's awkward. If you don't bait, you're going to not bait there. Do you got this move go through there? You're actually going to be able to hit this move. It doesn't win it for you immediately now, but maybe you're still going to have the chance there to win with the Scrafty. You can knock them out. We see the Pelipper, and you actually win this because you went straight for the charge move. So deserved. Good game there. Very well played. Amazing one. Next opponent, we see a Pidgeot in the lead. This might be an interesting one. Maybe double steal in the back, but why would they then not swap out? They can go for the debuffing move here, but they're going to go for the Brave Bird immediately. We see a Lantern in the back. This would have been such a good matchup if he had more health left, because he would survive all the moves, like all resisted there. But like this, you're still going to be able to hit one charge move that hurts them a lot, and you're actually still going to be able to survive the Surf, which is wild. But at least you're going to be able to avoid again the Lantern with your Charizard. This is something where Dragalge, XL Dragalge is so good at just getting out the counters for the Pokemon at the egg. Like, it's such a good Say Swap right now. In my opinion, the best Say Swap in the Ultra League right now is Dragalge. Also, you can use it in the lead, where I feel like it's really, really strong just because it has so many decent matchups where you can either win like in the 0, 1 or 2 shield scenario, so you basically always get some kind of advantage with this Pokemon. So if you have the XL candy for it, highly recommend to you. I would have the XL candy from all the 12km X, to be fair, but sadly I am not having in the starter store now for it. Here we see the Blast Bird hit, of course. Debuff there doesn't really do too much damage. We're going to see the foul play coming through. Not going to knock you out there, but you can go for another Blast Bird in time, which is going to do a ton of damage. I actually don't think it knocks him out yet, does it? We get the shield anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We'll see here the opponent going for one Power Punch now, going to be able to farm them all the way down after your own Power Punch here, as we will see the a farm down here from the Scrafty, which is amazing. We're going to see the Pidgeot coming back in here, and you can get at least a tie there. I guess a tie is better than nothing. We see the Stunfisk now in the lead. That's amazing. Actually, for this team, like, you really want to have the Stunfisk in the lead. And we see a Pidgeot coming in where you don't really have the best answers. I would have went into my Dragalge here, I guess. Would have been the best one, but you actually get the shield, which is good for you, which is definitely good for you. They're going to most likely try to debuff you, but they're actually not going to throw the charge move, which is even better for you, as you can take those moves a little bit easier. We see the opponent going for the Brave Bird now, which is fine for you. You could actually shield this, but I think this is not even, it cannot be a Brave Bird, right? It's a Feather Dance, exactly, so you can survive it, farm it all the way down, and you will be able to go ahead and go for one more Awkward Tail. But the best thing is that you can realign here, which is the main thing why you really want to gain Switch. You have a shield advantage, you have Switch advantage, and you have a Pelipper against you, which is a core breaker for this team. Pelipper right now also one of the best XL Pokemon that you can build if you want to build something good. This Pokemon just breaks also Swampert, breaks Charizard, breaks the fighting types available right now. It's such a good Pokemon to build as well. Like, other than Dragalge, this is also one that I would highly recommend you to try to outbuild at least, as it's so good in the current meta. We see the shield coming up here, might be a Hurricane, it's a Weather Ball. And we see another charge move coming through. It can still be a Hurricane, by the way. Hurricane and Weather Ball can be at the same time there. We see the opponent going into their Galarian Stunfisk again, and now it's just boosting up with the Power Punches. I think you go for one Foul Play now. This is definitely a play, because Foul Play does more damage than Power Punch, even though of course Power Punch is super effective, but it's just a horrible move. But after this boost, this should knock out the opponent, and this should win you the game, and it will win you the game, so that's a very good one there. Next opponent, we see an Obstagoon against you. This is a decent one, and especially with the backline that you have, but you now face a Swampert that you really want to get out anyway, which also your Dragon Poison Pokemon helps you out with that, usually if they have it in the bag, which helps then again your Charizard. So I really enjoy this team here, really cool team. Has a few core breakers like the Pelipper, but like that's basically it. Otherwise, team that I can definitely recommend you if you have an XL Dragalge. XL Scrafty, of course, is also a little bit tricky to get for some people, but I feel like this Pokemon has been out for so long already from the 12km X, like it's pretty easy to get them from there. I think it's the most common pull out of 12km X as well, this Scraggy, so I have so many XL Candy from this Pokemon already. We'll see the Ampharos here, which is amazing for you. Actually gonna go straight for the Outrage. I wouldn't have done that if I was myself, but this helped out you definitely a lot there. That was nice. Very good move there. You tried to catch there, didn't work out, but still fine. You will be able to take this move pretty easily, as you're going to be able to swap out now into your Charizard. You have one move, I think, still stored on the Dragalge now, and you will be able to reach another Blast Burn, as this would knock them out. They're going to swap out into the Swampert, and you're actually going to throw a charge move, but you didn't get caught on the Blast Burn, which is nice. And you go for the baits here as well. Actually would have went for the Blast Burn here immediately, but maybe, yeah, okay, this time I would be right. This time I would be right with my call, which is nice, but the Night Slash is not going to get the boost. You still have a move stored, I think, on your Dragalge, and Dragalge is the main star of this gameplay anyway, as you're going to go into that. Gonna go for the Awkward Tail. Could have also actually went for the Outrage, I think, but here you will be able to farm down in time, so good game there. Final game coming up, we see a Jellicent against you. This is a decent one for your lead, and a decent one I think also for Dragalge, because they run Bubble, which is way better for you. But if they run Ice Beam, it might be a little bit tricky. Here they're actually going to shield up, which is wild. Do they run Ice Beam? Most Bubble Pokemon use Ice Beam, but no, they're going to run a Bubble Beam here as well, which is going to decrease your attack, but also doesn't really do any damage, so I actually wonder why they want to stay in here. I think they still would be able to win this on 2-shield maybe, but even then, like, honestly, like, yes, Bubble Beam going to not, like, debuff you the entire time, which is cool, but it's also not going to do that crazy much damage, and theoretically you could swap out eventually, but you can just stay in here for now. Definitely should be a decent one for you, as you will be able to just take them out. Now you're going to swap out into Dragalge, I'm fine with that one. And we will see here now the Shadow Ball coming through. You can go ahead and go for one Awkward Tail against the opponent's Pokemon there as well, which is going to be the Dinosaur. Best Dinosaur ever, Auroras. Such a cool Pokemon. I really enjoyed that they finally made Auroras nice. I feel like all those fossil Pokemon kind of suck, sadly. You're going to have, like, if you think about the Gen 1 fossils, they're kind of bad. I guess the one Gen 3 fossil is kind of okay. but also only in limited meta, so kinda cool that Auroras can do something now, but not against this team. Very strong team, can highly recommend you to try this team out. Also for me, on my standpoint, I think this is a very good team to use, so if you need one and if you have already the XL Dragalge, very cool Pokemon to use right now. And that's going to be it also for the Ultra League Premier Cup. This was the final video for that one. Love Cup is coming up. Tomorrow we're going to have everything around the Love Cup. And yeah, that's going to be it for it. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.